Jim's Esso, is that 98 in Manning?
No, it's, what is it?
Just one road west of the Bell River Road, 27,
It's
and
in
towards
Windsor.
98,
No.
26.
Because I was, when I read it, I thought, I went back and I asked him, where did you live? Because different little spots.
Yeah, I tried to use as many real locations as I could, just
And one other question, Jack Kirby.
yeah, I'm not a big Kirby fan. I've been getting that a lot lately, though. I don't know. I don't see it myself.
Well, when you had asked that question and you mentioned
sorry.
Kirby's name, I didn't want to mention Kirby's name earlier. I love him to death, and I'm sure you get it because of the one nose. And
Yeah, I guess I noticed in that one character a bit, but yeah, I've never really been.
Also, seeing the Essex County map in the second volume, that got a lot of people as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not just from this area, but people that don't even live in Essex County and or Windsor, but other friends of mine I spoke to in Montreal that had seen the book and whatnot, just having that landmark that puts it very Canadian.
It's kind of fun. I've been doing a lot of shows in the States this year, and I keep getting people coming up to me, like I was in Baltimore, and they're like, oh, I'm from Essex County too. Really? I'm like, yeah. But they're all talking about Essex County, New Jersey. It takes a while to figure that out.
Sorry, Alice?
What do you define? I just thought really it was so well written. Like some of those what you write is so poignant, and the fact that he's so happy, that Jimmy is very happy with his life, that he did his dream, that he basically accomplished what he wanted, essentially, and that to me is essential to what truly is what a hero is. And in comics, the hero ultimately is the tights and the guy who saves the day. And what do you define personally as a hero?
I guess for me, all the heroes I have are people, usually artists or whoever, who have a vision or an idea and they follow through and they don't let other people get in their way and they kind of stick to their guns. They always like the filmmakers or writers that I admire the most are the ones with sort of like distinct vision and they somehow still get their project out the way they want. Which is, I mean, we were talking about collaboration before, and for me the best thing about doing comics is that I can do it all by myself. And, I originally went to Toronto to go to film school, and I wanted to tell stories that way, I thought. And then by the end of the program, I realized that I was just too shy to like work with actors and crews. And by the time you filter it all through so many people, you just lose what your original idea was. Whereas like you just sit down and draw it, and don't have to worry about anything else. I find most cartoonists are usually kind of loners.
Well, most, and I've seen this as well with different artists, is, yeah, once they do, especially film projects, people show up late, the sun isn't working for you, all these other elements, you can't get the perfect telephone you wanted for that scene to make it look that way. And again, when like working with people, watching people do these stories, it's great to have, because it's your imagination. And even in encouraging artists to, just draw through it and get it done. I mean, obviously, the last page you did isn't as good as the page you just finished. You usually always improve. Some people can work consistently the whole way through, but generally the idea is you'll always improve. You can have anything you want. Anything you want on this page and part of the story. You can have antennas out of your head.
You never have to worry about a budget or...
No, yeah. As long as, I've made comics out of, I had an old coffee and a piece of paper and I just happen to have a brush and you can, still make a drawing with it. You don't really need much more than that. I had one quick question about the science fiction story you were talking about. Is that you've been working on it for a few years? Is there anything you want to say about it as far as?
Well, I'm doing the third Essex County book right now, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through that. I'm starting to get a little stir crazy and tired of drawing tractors. And I've been kind of straying and writing some new stuff, and I guess I'm kind of writing my next graphic novel as I'm finishing drawing the third Essex County book, and it's I don't want to say too much about it yet, but it's sort of set in northern Canada this time, and it's a little more. There are some more fantastical elements to this one. And the science fiction story was something that I was going to do as a webcomic 2 years ago. I just couldn't keep the schedule up. So now I'm actually writing it for another artist to work on, pitching it around. for the larger comic book.
I thought you did collaborate.
I know yet. We'll see how it goes.
This is really two questions for Mr. Lemire. My favorite part of the first chapter of your book was when Lester shows up and his dad's on the tractor and he's got the whole outfit on. That was really powerful. What was your favorite part of that book, and being your first of that series?
What do you think? I don't know, my favorite part of that book is probably when he goes to the gas station for the first time and buys a comic book, and then the guy starts talking to him and stuff. That scene is kind of the scene that, the first scene I had in my mind, that everything else kind of.
I'm wondering how you guys use the internet at all in getting yourselves either more attention, selling books?
Yeah, the internet's a huge part of what I do, is maintaining my site. It's the main way I promote myself. And sell all my original artwork off my site. I get a lot of commission drawings and stuff from my site, so it's a big part of the money that I do.
Do you see involvement from like all over? Like you were saying,
I get a lot of, for some reason I get a lot of orders from Germany and Belgium and places like that over the internet. Really drawn to my stuff online.
I was gonna say, we want to take a little break.
Right. What about artistic influences? Who specifically influenced you?
My favorite comic book artist of all time is probably Joe Kubert.
Okay.
And I love all those, like I said before, all those Silver Age DC guys, Carmine Infantino and Kubert, Murphy Anderson, Gil Kane. And then when I kind of got a bit older and got into indie comics and stuff, I started getting people like Paul Pope and the Hernandez brothers, Dan Clowes, Chris Ware. And I discovered a lot of European cartoonists like Jose Munoz and Hugo Pratt, people like that.
Okay. So, in your opinion, the average mainstream comic today, do you feel the artwork is maybe sort of too realistic and not cartoony enough?
Yeah, my biggest qualm with like mainstream comics right now is that they seem to be so obsessed with like photorealism, and they want everything to look like a movie or a TV show, I think, instead of letting them be comics, and that really bothers me. But on the flip side of that, there's some of the best writers that have ever been working in mainstream comics are working now, so the stories are such high quality too. So yeah, it's interesting.
Who are some of your favorite writers working right now?
Ed Brubaker. And pretty much anything he touches right now is gold. He's great. And there's a guy named Jason Aaron, a book called The Other Side, a Vietnam book for Vertigo, and he's doing a book called Scalped for Vertigo right now. And I think he's incredible. I really think he's going to be the next like superstar writer in comics.
Okay, so did you study, like, it's funny because looking at your artwork at first glance, it looks kind of more abstract, but in my opinion, the anatomy is actually very accurate to me. Did you study anatomy formally?
No, I didn't study art formally. I studied, I just was self-taught, since I was a kid. And then, like I said, I went to film school and didn't do a lot of drawing for about 3 years. And then I missed it so much and I got back into it. But it's pretty much all self-taught. I guess I'm more interested, like as an artist, my goal is that I'm not so much interested in getting things super realistic as trying to capture the emotion within an object or whatever. So that's kind of what I aim for. Those guys were pros back then, man. It's like you said, it's almost flipped. Back in those days, like the 60s, 70s, the artwork is fantastic, and the stories now just don't hold up. Whereas now the stories are really great, and the artwork's really accomplished, but it's not comics so much anymore. It's like, I don't know, it's like, pin-ups, and the guys that are good, like, it seems like they're just trying to be so photographic. And some of it looks nice, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate it too, but I like more of an expressive line. I like a bit more of a cartoon in my... That's the whole thing. Comic Book Syndicate, assemble.